How's it going, friends? Right now I'm in front of the Shields at the Eden Prairie Mall. It's a new Shields, it's very fancy, and that's because today's video is a virtual tour of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Eden Prairie is without a doubt one of the nicest suburbs in the Twin Cities. Let's do it. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch. I'm a real estate agent here in the Twin Cities, and this YouTube channel is devoted to two things. The first of which is teaching people about the ins and outs of buying, selling, and investing in real estate. And the second of which is showing off the amazing place that I live, the Twin Cities in Minnesota. So if either of those two things appeal to you, do us both a favor, subscribe to the channel, click the little bell to get notified, give the video a thumbs up, and say what's up in the comments. Especially say hi to Nick, who you haven't met yet. Nick? Who's Nick? You're about to meet him. Right now, I'm about, 40 feet from the shore on a frozen lake. Specifically, I'm on Bryant Lake, which is in Bryant Lake Regional Park, which is in Eden Prairie. And that's because today's video is a virtual tour of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Eden Prairie is beautiful. It's very, very desirable. You can't see it because this lens is too wide, but all along here, just like super, super nice houses. And then maybe you can see it back here, but those are ice houses. If you're from like a super warm climate, maybe you'll recognize an ice house from, Fargo, Grumpy Old Men. maybe something like that. We also just love fishing so much that several feet of ice below our feet can't stop us. All right, but before we get going, I'm very excited for all of the stuff that 2021 has to offer. It is the 9th of January, and I'm not kidding. I've had 20 people reach out to me from YouTube since the first of the year. That's over 2 a day. Kind of insane, actually, but the writing's been on the wall. I've been very busy. Clearly, these videos are very helpful. So I'm working on starting the best team in all of Minnesota. Specifically, you are not gonna be able to find anybody who does relocation and out-of-state buyers quite like we do. So I appreciate y'all reaching out. Keep on reaching out. I promise we are gonna take the absolute best care of you. And I apologize, this intro is long. What are you gonna do? It's the first one of the year. Eden Prairie's dope. All right, I'm very excited to show you around Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Did I just change shoes? Wait, is it like a way nicer day out today? Yeah, it's a beautiful day out. Right now I'm at Starring Lake Park in Eden Prairie, dope sledding hill, with my man, Nick Host, and that is because Nick is the newest member of my team to the Twin Cities, which, yeah, by the way, that's what I'm calling my team, to the Twin Cities. Nick grew up in Chanhassen and worked in Eden Prairie for like 5 years, so he knows this area better than me, so I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit about Eden Prairie. I'm cold, so I'm gonna go sit in my truck while Nick tells you about Eden Prairie.
What's up, guys? My name is Nick Host, as Jesse mentioned. I'm from the area, grew up in Chanhassen, which is the next town over. We are in Eden Prairie, as he mentioned, beautiful southwestern suburb here, actually at Starring Lake Park, which is kind of on the southern border of Eden Prairie. We're kind of close to the Minnesota River Valley, some of the most beautiful views that you'll get in this area of town. Starring Lake's a beautiful park, kind of one of the marquees of Eden Prairie. You've got a beautiful disc golf course, kind of a little bit of a band shell action here that you can see. People bring their kids sledding here, do all kinds of fun stuff. I'll be back in just a second with Jesse.
Okay, like every other city in the entire world, Eden Prairie has 4 main boundaries. To the north is 62nd Street or Highway 62. To the east is Highway 169. To the south is the Minnesota River. And to the west, more or less is Highway 101. Eden Prairie is a very affluent income with a median household income of somewhere around $105,000 per household. The median price for single family homes is $470,000 and median rent is right around $1,350. According to niche.com, Eden Prairie was voted the #1 best suburb to live in all the Twin Cities. It was voted #2 best place to raise a family in all of Minnesota. It's freezing, my hands are gonna fall off, so we're gonna regroup.
Dude, you know when you get back in the heat and it like burns?
Yeah, it's gonna burn. Okay, right now we are at the Minnesota River Valley. Check that out, pretty crazy view. Right behind us is Flying Cloud Drive. We had to hop in the truck for a little bit because it's like 20 degrees out here.
So just down the road, Flying Cloud is C.H. Robinson. They're a large logistics company that's headquartered here in Eden Prairie. They're one of the largest employers in addition to Super Value. Eaton is in the city as well. And Optum is also one of the largest employers in the town.
Shout out to Charlie, my friend, who works at Optum. Eden Prairie has a super robust economy, which I think drives a lot of the population this way.
Some of the largest industries in the town, as we mentioned, with C.H. Robinson, you've got a lot of logistics and distribution, healthcare with Optum and UHG just up the street as well. Other industries, you've got Life Touch, which is in the photography industry. It's very diverse, like Jesse mentioned. So lots of employment opportunity here. If you live in the Twin Cities already, if you're looking to move here, it's a great choice for that reason.
I know right now it looks like we're in an actual wasteland, but actually Eden Prairie is super nice and it's known for having some of the best schools in all of the Twin Cities.
How does yours stay so straight, bro?
My hair gets crazy sometimes in these videos.
I look like a total tool. What is that? I can't do that, bro.
If you watched my video about Minnetonka, you might remember that I mentioned that like there were 4 schools that were in the top 4, like kind of no matter where you looked. And it was always Eden Prairie, Edina, Minnetonka, and Wayzata. And according to niche.com, there's like 10 A+ schools just within Eden Prairie.
Oak Point Elementary, Eden Lake, Eagle Ridge. You've also got Eagle Heights Spanish Immersion, and of course, Eden Prairie High School.
Okay, we're running out of daylight. Let's go for a ride. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of living in Eden Prairie? Number one, I say this in so many of these videos, and I apologize, but it's specifically true in this one, that is schools. But remember, Nick grew up here. What did you like about living here?
It's quiet, it's safe. It's just an overall nice area. It's very spacious, sprawling. properties are large, you get a lot of land.
Yeah, I really like that things don't feel like they're like stacked on top of each other here. It sort of feels, at times it can feel like you're in the country, but you're definitely not in the country. It's definitely a suburb with all those amenities while also being still pretty close to the cities. So then I also say this for the cons in all these videos, because if you have all those good things like quiet, nice suburb with amazing schools, Eden Prairie without a doubt is very expensive. Like I said earlier, the median single family home price is $470,000. But there's not a whole lot of cons here. I don't know. Can you think of anything?
Aside from the fact that it's just a little bit further out from the city and the price point is higher, there's a little more limited arts and entertainment. It doesn't quite boast some of the arts and entertainment that the Minneapolis-St. Paul proper area would. But there are some great restaurants out here nonetheless.
Yeah, and then I think probably my biggest gripe with Eden Prairie is that I think the roads are absolute chaos. I worked in Eden Prairie for 3 years and I still barely knew how to get to the Starbucks up the street. Okay, wait. One last thing.
There is a light rail line that's going to be coming to Eden Prairie, I believe early 2022. So that is going to help with the accessibility to the metro area despite being out here away. So that's nice.
Sick. How nice was it to have Nick? All right, leave a comment for Nick, say what's up. Let's go for a ride. You know, there's one really big thing that I think we kind of left out as far as like what makes Eden Prairie amazing, and that is these natural spaces. You know, right now I'm basically all the way on the western side of Eden Prairie, and I'm currently standing again on a lake, and this one is Lake Riley. But there are so many lakes and water features in Eden Prairie that it's hard to choose just one. I think Bryant Lake and Lake Riley are two of the biggest in Eden Prairie. But truly, just pull up Eden Prairie on Google Maps or something and you'll see there's a ton of lakes. And they really have done a great job at accommodating the people who live here with park space, natural space. These lakes, obviously they didn't make these lakes. Minnesota just has a lot of lakes, but then also trails, you know, walking trails, bike paths, that kind of thing. But I really just want to make sure that I didn't downplay the natural space here in Eden Prairie at all. Even the neighborhoods have a sort of like wooded, hilly feel. Not all of them, but most of them. There are mature trees. It's not just like a classic Edward Scissorhand, you know, suburban neighborhood where everything's flat and just in, you know, tidy rows. Is very much not that way. Hey, I don't know if you can see this. What I'm on, basically on an ice road right now. There's a boat launch there, but there's no boats because it's frozen lake. You drive all the way that way. Put an ice house up somewhere. Okay, I hope this video has been helpful. And like I always say, if Eden Prairie appeals to you or anywhere else in the Twin Cities, do yourself a favor, reach out to me any way you can. Call, text, email, leave me a message on my website, DM me on Instagram, DM me on Facebook. Truly, and I promise this team I'm building is gonna be incredible. We are gonna do this better than anybody else. And I would also really like to say thank you so much for all the love so far. Even just in 2021, it has been overwhelming. It's so cool to see. I love it and I appreciate y'all. So anyways, keep doing your thing, keep watching these videos, keep commenting, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified, but really give this video a thumbs up. That one thing is weirdly helpful in the YouTube algorithm. I would appreciate it very much. It does help not only me, but other people trying to find content like this, because let's be honest, is there anything better about the Twin Cities on the internet anywhere? I don't think so. I'm pretty biased, but I don't think so. But okay, thank you so much for watching this. It's starting to get a little bit cold and I have to walk, that far back to my truck. Okay, we did it. Love you. Bye-bye.